Let me get you in here, sorry. Get set up a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so I went for a rock walk yesterday. Here's some of my spoils. Get everything going over here. It was a really wild day. Lots of critters, creepy crawly critters, and lots of petrified wood. I have never found so much petrified wood in one day. I usually come home with a bag full of rocks and a couple of petrified woods. And this time I came home with a bag full of petrified woods and a couple of rocks. So, yeah, I'll take it though. I'm excited. I have some that are still in the bowl that still need some scrubbing, and we'll look at those. But I have these that I kind of scrubbed on last night, so we'll look at these first. And I wanted to show you these ones dry first because some of them have like little drusies and stuff, and maybe we'll be able to see some of that. Maybe. All right. I have, I don't know, let's start with some of the littler ones. It's kind of neat detail happening in here. Boy, the train is noisy this morning. It's all right. So there's one. Yeah, need to find a spot to put these. Right there would be great. So we don't look at the same one twice. This one's really cool. It's like pre-polished. It's definitely, not river tumbled. I don't do any river hunting, but this one's definitely seen some wind and some erosion to get it as smooth as it is. Good morning, Mia. Get to have a look though while you're hitting the books, huh? That's a good deal. This one's interesting. It's got different colors like pinks and purples and blues and grays. And it's quite agate in there. But yeah, okay, we'll look at that. This one is quite agate. It's got some scuzz I need to get cleaned off of it still. But I might leave that on there. That scuzz really glows under a UV, and it actually phosphoresces. So when you shut the UV off, it keeps the glowing. And petrified wood glows under a UV as well. So that might be a fun little piece just to leave a little bit of that scuzz on there for somebody if they wanted to have something to look at under their UV light. What else do we got here? This one, sure, why not? This one is really sparkly all across the bottom there. We're catching some of it, it looks like, on my phone, not on my computer. Anyway, kind of an interesting thing. Lots of petrified wood yesterday. It just blew my mind. Yeah. This one's really pretty. This one is so agatized that it just is spots deep down inside. That one might be one of my more favorite pieces, even though it's one of the smaller pieces. Hi, Slim. I went for a rock walk yesterday. I braved the mosquitoes. I kind of think one might have bit me in the corner of my eye. It's not all swollen or anything, but it is really bothering me this morning. And I kind of thought when I was out there that maybe I felt one in my eye. Well, I felt one in my eye multiple times, but I kind of thought maybe one might have tagged me. But it was worth it. I was in Petrified Wood Paradise, so I braved the mosquitoes. This one's really pretty. Here's another little one. Kind of pretty. And then I did get some other rocks too, and we'll talk about those in a minute. Usually, like I say, it's backwards of this. I have a whole bag full of rocks and just a couple of petrified woods. And this time I had a whole bag full of petrified wood and just a couple of rocks. I like how this one's like really light over here and really dark over here. Kind of an interesting little piece. I'm looking at all the ones here first. This one tricked me. Let me drop this one over here. This one tricked me at first. It took me a second to decide if this was petrified wood or not. I could see this little pocket in here. Let me get something better than my nubby little pinky. I could see this little agate pocket in here and was like, what? So picked it up and I brushed on it a little bit and I saw some of that agate that ran all the way through the other side and was like, it is a petrified wood. So I brought it home. That's not the most spectacular piece I've ever found, but I like them like that. So let's just get right into this. It's so smooth, and each one of these little tips has agatized just a little bit, and there's some druzy stuff happening in here all the way down into here a little bit. Look at the waves in this. I mean, just petrified wood, when it gets to rocking and rolling, it can be some of the most fascinating stuff to look at. A little bit of druzy and stuff happening back here as well. Gorgeous piece. What do you do with it? I don't know. You put it on the shelf and keep it, I suppose. Maybe you whack it up into jewelry. I don't know. This piece, I'm just going to make sure we're getting good focus here. Let me tap the screen. All the way through the middle of this piece. That whole bit in there. Now it's not focusing for crap. There we go. That whole bit in there is sparkling druzy. I'm not seeing it on either my camera or my computer, which is unfortunate. That's what we get for showing these off in the live. Of course, I saved some footage of me rockhounding these, so stay tuned. There will be a video out on me finding all of this very soon. Yeah, what a pretty piece. This is my favorite side. It's just like swoosh, so smooth, and even though this side is sparkly, this side is really cool too. I do think this is my favorite side. And what else have we got? Here's a big one. And if I wouldn't have been finding tons and tons of petrified wood up there the other day, I might not have identified this as a petrified wood. There you go, Slim. Now it's my turn. My neighbors are out hot rodding around in their pickup trucks. But because it was in like wood paradise, I was able to identify that this is indeed a piece of petrified wood. Otherwise, I would not have been sure. I'd have been like, jasper, quartz, I don't know. This piece is fun. Look at all the agate, opal agate combo that's running through this piece. I tried to scrub a lot of this green stuff off of here, but I honestly can go back and get some more of that off there. But that whole piece across the top. And let's see if we can get... Oh, it's another piece. There's another piece over there that we'll look at in a minute that's got some super cool banding in there. But yeah, all through this piece, all kinds of little bands of agate running through that. kind of a cool piece. So there, we made it through what I have like pre-scrubbed wood. Let's talk about some of the rocks that I found. Well, these aren't rocks, they're fossils. But I don't know what these are called. I don't ever usually find them much bigger than this. Actually, I think I have one just sitting right here that's broken in half. Yeah, that is a little larger. So they don't get too big. Let's see. Getting back together, watching on the camera. Oh, this is trickier than I thought it might be. He does fit together. There we go. So just a little guy, but why not put him in a little fossil bag or something? But this one is a fossilized horn coral, or coral of some kind. He may not be a horn coral, but I wonder if these polish. I wonder if I polished this, if I'm sure you'd keep some of this texture, but I wonder if it would be pretty. You know, Potowski stones are really pretty polished. Would this be as well? I find these completely agatized sometimes, and they are really, really, really pretty. But I wonder. Anyway, there's a couple of little fossils that I found. What next? This one, because it's just kind of weird. So here's a quartz that, and I don't usually bring quartz home, but it had all of this, I don't know, mica stuff in it, and it even has a garnet in it. So I figured, why not put it in the bag and bring it home? It's kind of pretty. It's got like pink and yellows and all kinds of chatoyancy in it. All right. I think this is an agate. I think that's the closest thing to an agate that I found out there yesterday. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a jasper or a chert or something. But anyway, this one's cool. Check out all the crazy little banding and stuff happening in this piece. And again, we don't see a lot of druzy stuff on my camera, but this top section right here and this section right here are like quartz druzy pockets. There you can see it sparkle a little on my phone right there in the middle, but yeah, I love all that beautiful blue colored banding or gray blue colored banding running through that one. So yeah, I don't know if I'll polish it up or if I'll do anything with it or if I'll just leave it just like that. It really is kind of cool just like that. I like it. I like it a lot. This one blew my mind. He's agate-y, very agate-y, but what in the actual heck kind of... I want to bring him closer. Let's bring him closer and see if we can focus. Yellow? Bright yellow? Huh. Never seen that before. Definitely caught my attention. Very cool rock. I mean, look at all of that stuff happening in there. So bright yellow. Bright orange. Whatever color you want to call it. I dig it. Very much so like it. Very much so. Oh, my eyeball. I swear that skeeter bit me. Let's see. Yeah, sure, why not? All right. Hang on to that for a minute. I found this rock too. It's got, I don't know, some kind of a chunk in it. But I just wanted to have a little closer look at it. I like the color of it. This one's weird. Excuse me. Usually I find stones that look like this or stones that look like this. I don't usually find them smashed into one stone. It's kind of cool. I'd probably just throw it out in the rock garden, out in the garden. Or put it on the rail of the porch or something with the many other rocks that are out there. But yeah, I found it kind of interesting, so I brought it home. Ooh, see if I can knock you guys around. Okay. So we have some rocks that still needed a lot of scrubbing. And, or that I just wasn't real thrilled about. So you're going to see some of my leaverites in here, I'm sure. Is that a wood? Good morning, Rocky Mountain. Is it a wood? I don't know. Excuse me. I have no idea what that is or why I kept it. There you go. I'm telling you, there's going to be some leaverites in here. Oh, that scuzz on there is just not coming off. I just saw rock water fling off my thing into my coffee cup. Ew. I better move my cup up here. Yeah, they're still soaking for a reason. There's a quartz, but it was like so purple. You can't even see in here. It looks gray, purple. And I wondered if it was a chunk of fluorite. So I brought it home. There's a piece that's not terribly, yeah. The wood I found yesterday, there's a red jasper. Okay, I do question this. Ah, that crud. I'm going to show it to you anyway. I do question this. Is this a wood? Or is it just a jasper? It's got so much junk on it still. And I tried scrubbing it, guys, but my toothbrush is a little soft for that junk on there. But what do you think? Look like a jasper? Some of our petrified wood turns that red color, so I question it a little just because this was literally wood heaven that I was in yesterday. So a lot of these do have some good agate banding and some opal even in them. So you can see some blue chalcedony or chalcedony, however you want to say it, in that piece right there. So while they're not the biggest or the prettiest or the nicest pieces here, that one tricked me. I wasn't sure, so I brought it home and I busted the end of it off. And I don't like those ones that are black inside as much as I like some of the others. So just, I mean, wood heaven. But these smaller pieces that are about this size are great to run through somebody's tumbler. This piece is really cool. Yeah, so I kept some of those. That one's interesting. So is that one. We can never see all the teeny tiny little fossil details in these, but let me get my finger dry real quick. Oh, it's actually focusing rather well. See that one right there? Oop, and a little dog hair. And I'm going to turn it over, and there's one right there that stands out rather prominently. So a lot of my jaspers do get those little, like, I don't know what they are, crinoids or whatever, but a lot of my jaspers are just stuffed full of those little fossils like that. And when I cut them and polish them, they're really pretty. They're really kind of cool and unique. And so I thought that was a nice little example of that. It's actually showing up on my camera really well today. I'm surprised. Here was a little rock with an agate top. You know, what am I going to do with that? It's not near as cool as this one. What is that? Okay, so moving on though. This is a really interesting piece of petrified wood here where we do get some of that red color sometimes. So Makes me wonder about that other bigger piece. But yeah, look at all of the... Look at all the stuff happening in there. Thank you, soul. I mean, it's just a little chunk, but I was thrilled. This is the one that gets all the pretty banding in the side of it. I gotta get it cleaned up. It's driving me crazy. I want to see it. It's a little bit better. But yeah, that whole piece, it just barely this end has got any like wood left. The whole thing is just turned to agate. And so I'm blown away. I never find petrified wood like that. That just was insane. Every time I turned around, there was another piece. And I've been there before and never noticed an abundance of petrified wood. I was just in shock. Another wood, another wood, another wood, another wood. There's another little tiny fossil piece. Put him over there with the other one. Some of it, look at that. There's no wood left on that piece even. So yeah, some of that is just exploratory stuff. I brought it home just because I want to have a closer look at it, see what's going on. Ugh, dog hair again. You know, some of this I knew what was going on, but still want to have another look at it, a little closer look at it. Some of this stuff just absolutely shocked me. I've never seen it before. That's what's great about rockhounding. You never know what you're gonna get. You can guess, you can say, oh, well, I tend to find petrified wood and some smaller agates and a lot of jasper and a whole bunch of quartz. And you can kind of guess what things you might go out and find, but you never know. No two agates are the same. No two petrified woods are exactly the same. So I love the thrill of the find. Keeps me going out, even though the bloodthirsty mosquitoes were trying to get me yesterday. They were pretty successful too. They were biting my fingers and my knuckles and my face and my ears, my neck. It was kind of something else. So for some of you just now tuning in, let me bring back some of these bigger pieces that we found yesterday. And this one was cool. Look at all of the agate. Some of it's even opalized, I think, running through that piece. Quite a bit of it. Oop, focus. This is cool, this little pocket in here. And I admitted earlier that I wouldn't have known that this was a petrified wood if I wasn't finding just droves of it yesterday. I would have probably thought it was a jasper or maybe some kind of a quartz, but I was finding wood like crazy, and I can tell now, you know, that I've got it home and cleaned it up, that it is definitely a wood. Here's another one that this whole middle bit is kind of sparkly. In my backyard. No, not quite. So I live in north central Montana, almost as far north as you can go before you're up into Canada. So the prairie of Montana. And I literally just drive out of town on a gravel road. And I've got a few spots out there that I really like to go. None of them are more than maybe 10 miles down the road from my house. Sometimes I go to some different spots that are a little farther away, but me and the dog just head out real close to the house here, and we hound out in some of the old 2-tracks that the oil well guys are digging with their trucks as they're out checking wells. Sometimes we'll stop on even just the gravel roads and check out some of the gravel on the side of the road. Hi, Greg. Yeah, I'm a Camerican, Greg. I grew up right on the Canadian-American border, so I'm a Camerican. So, yeah, I stay local. I don't go north, obviously, because north is Canada. And I'm not checking in with customs every time I want to go rockhounding. So, um, I just head out locally here around my house, and I get first picks of everything because I'm the only one who's brave enough to go out and look for rocks and not feel weird and crazy. You guys know how that is. You know how you feel when somebody drives by and looks at you looking at rocks. I've kind of gained a reputation around town as the rock hound, the girl in, and people know now. They drive by, they give me a little wave on their way by, and sometimes they stop and visit with me. Sometimes they see my truck. I always park my truck on the right next to the road so that if anything ever happens to me, I'm really easy to find. And I walk in. I want to walk in anyway. You know, I want to walk so I can see all the rocks. So I tend to just park right next to the road. Technically, it's illegal to remove petrified wood and fossils from Alberta. Yes, you can be the caretaker of them, but you can't remove them. Am I correct about that? I may be wrong about that, but yeah, Alberta really like their dino bones, so don't take their dino bones without asking. It's not here. It's illegal to sell rocks here that you haven't done work to, that you haven't altered in some way. But nobody really is going to come cracking down on you if you sell an agate just the way you found it or something, especially if you're a small business keeping it small time. This is a cool piece. I love how it got spotty in there. It looks like kind of like leopard print or something in there. Yeah, no digging. So yeah, I just, like I say, I just hike around wherever. And sometimes I get permission for special access hunts to people's property. Sometimes people ask me to come check out their gravel pit or wherever they think they saw something interesting, and let them know if they need to know if anything's in there. Like, are they missing some cool fossils or some cool agates or a big petrified wood thing? They want to know. And they maybe don't have the know. I get a lot of farmers and ranchers too that'll bring suspected meteorites to me and ask my expertise on that. So, you know, it feels awkward and goofy at first to go out and rock hound in front of people and let people see you do that. But like I say, I've gained a reputation around my community now as kind of an expert in the field. I'm not an expert by any means, but I do know more than most. And so when they have questions around here, questions, comments, concerns, I'm happy to try my best to help people out, answer their questions. This little two-tone, you know, light to dark kind of piece here. This is pretty cool. I can't believe I found all this yesterday, you guys. My bag was so full of petrified wood. I can't believe that. Like I say, it's usually a bag full of rocks with a couple pieces of petrified wood, and yesterday it was a bag full of petrified wood with a couple of rocks. I had so much fun, and it's great exercise. It's great to go out and get some fresh air, although yesterday I think I got bit in the corner of my eye by a mosquito, and that's kind of bothering me today, but I'll get over it. Look at what I got. Look at my spoils. I'll go hang out with the mosquitoes for a little while, and if the rocks are coming to me like this. So I like the pattern on that and the different colors in it. So yeah, I couldn't stop. I was having a blast out there. Oh gosh, my eye. But yeah, and the dog too. She was just running amok and having a good time too. Good morning, Rufo. Oh no. Oh no. See, and I do see teepee rings quite often when I'm out hunting, but I think it would be really bad juju to take rocks from a teepee ring. So I take pictures of them sometimes, and I sit and enjoy them and walk around and love them, but I don't take them. I don't mess with them. I don't bug them. So artifacts, though, other than teepee rings are not something that I come across out here. So I don't really have any worry about that. Just little sea fossils and things, I do find corals and things like that. And, nobody around here is going to raise a stink about me keeping a couple of coral fossils because they're a dime a dozen. Um, they're everywhere out here. I know a lot of landowners out here don't want you to find something like dino bone on their property because if state and local agencies decide that it's a significant discovery, they may come and shut down your property for what use they were using it for. So I know a lot of landowners can kind of bad juju, definitely, Greg. Yeah. Yeah. So I actually really love to sit with the teepee rings and just take a minute and be quiet and still. They're always on a really high elevated spot so you can see everything all around you. And so it's always just really nice to sit for a minute and take in the view and appreciate that you're not the first person who has set foot there. So, yeah, I found one arrowhead too, and it was in the road of an actually kind of recreational area here. It's not public recreation, but a lot of people they've been going there since my dad was a kid to recreate. And so it's a local, well-kept secret. And I'd probably driven over that arrowhead 20 times going up there rockhounding and checking things out, probably 20 times in that spring or fall or whatever it was. And I got back to the truck one afternoon and it was sitting right next to the tire. And I was like, I can't leave it here for people to drive over. So I have found one arrowhead and did pick it up, but I think I'll refrain from showing it to you just so nobody comes and takes it away from me. Rufo? No, it's not really that big a deal. So, um, yeah. I mean, you get out there enough for long enough and you're gonna find something unexpected. That's what's so cool about rockhounding, right? This was very unexpected for me. Like I say, I never find petrified wood in this quantity in one day. Like, I have a petrified wood collection. This is probably a quarter of my petrified wood collection that I found in one day. It's just insane. So, what a great day. I had an absolutely fantastic day. I did take some video of me finding all of this stuff. Probably finish cleaning some of this up and add some still pictures to the end so you guys can really see some of the good details in some of this stuff. Help me out here, guys. I've got a conundrum for you. I found a couple of winter kill deer down in the bottom of the coulee yesterday. And I'm dragging you to the Yellowstone next time I go there. Yeah. I don't like to travel, man. The Yellowstone's like down there and all the people, and it's like down there. like why wouldn't we just stay up here where we get first pick? And I've never come across another rockhound when I'm out rockhounding. I've always been the only one. Me and my company are the only ones I've ever seen out rockhounding. I've come across, like I say, all kinds of farmers, ranchers, oil rig workers out, people out driving around, but I've never, ever seen anybody else out rockhounding up here. I've had a lot of people ask if I would take them rockhounding. And so we may have some special guests this summer joining us for some rock hunts, but yeah, I don't ever see anybody else out where I'm at. So it's kind of fun to think about it like that I get first pick, second pick, third pick, fourth pick. I was talking about something, I'm pretty sure, but I think I might have forgot what I was saying. Not coming back to me at the moment. The deer heads. Yeah, help me out with this, you guys. Okay, so I'm a rockhounding channel, but before I was a rockhound, I was a shed hunter. And so every year, a male deer grows a pair of horns. I know most of you know this, but some of you don't. Okay. Yeah, winter kill and sheds. Okay, so there's two different situations. One is that the deer naturally drop their horns and then grow a new pair the next year. And so we're, as a shed horn hunter, you're looking for the ones that have naturally fallen off. However, once in a while you come across a winter kill, a deer that didn't make it through the winter, so the horns are still connected to the head, which is what I found yesterday. I actually found 3 winter kill deer down in the bottom of the coulee. So the shed head in me, the retired shed horn hunter in me was like, man, if I were still a shed horn hunter, this would be the score of several seasons stacked together here. Like, you just never come down here and find horns like that in the bottom of the coulee. Okay, and there was some very interesting bugs munching on some of the bones. There was one called a carpet beetle. I had to come home and look it up. Actually, I think, Rufo, I think it was probably coyotes. And I tell a little bit of this story in my video that I recorded yesterday, that when the dog and I were there last fall in this particular spot, in the early evening, there were a crap load of coyotes. And they were just like all of a sudden so all around us that it actually kind of made me nervous. And that's never, ever happened to me before. I have never felt intimidated by the wildlife out here. But I didn't want my dog to be their snack. So we literally hurried up and got the heck out of there when they were it was feeling like they were feeling a little bold. And usually they're more afraid of us than we are of them. But that spot was really thick with coyotes last fall. So I wonder if, rather than an avalanche kill, if that was just a coyote thing. Anyway, we did get some pretty deep snows out there this year, but anyway, and I do, Slim, yes, I do. Not really big enough to like put down a bear, but I don't have a lot of bear issues out here on the prairie either. But anyway, I found these deer skulls down in the bottom of the coulee, and there was a carpet beetle munching on one of the bones, and I've never seen a carpet beetle before. I had to come home and look it up, and it's I don't know, like, should I share that with on my rockhounding adventure? Should I share that with everybody, or is that too gruesome for some? I mean, I'm kind of a gruesome girl. I was very interested in the beetle, and down to the bones, Rocky Mountain Bear, down to the bones. There was a little bit of fur right up around on the top of the head, but yeah, I just take a little Derringer 22 is all I take, Slim. But like I say, I'm not fearing a bear attack or anything when I'm out on the prairie. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Snakes is something I should be more worried. I shouldn't be. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. And the snakes that we have out here that are dangerous are rattlesnakes, and they give you a really good warning if they can. So I've not really had a problem with them either. Never had a problem with them. I poke dead things with a stick. Yes, I do. My mom, I actually say that in the video too. If I decide to share this, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it too gruesome to share, or should I share? I mean, that is the circle of life, right? So, but I brought 2 of the 3 heads home yesterday with me, and my kids were like, what do you mean you left one out there? Well, it was pretty chewed up. And so here's another thing that maybe you guys don't know. There is a guy here in Three Forks, Montana. His name is Jim, and he runs in his shop. He has what he calls Jim's House of Horns. Okay, I agree, Rocky Mountain Bear. It wasn't like rotting guts and stuff. It's just bones. And, you know, like I say, I was a bone collector before I was a rockhound. So anyway, there's a guy here in Three Forks, Jim, who runs Jim's House of Horns. And if you look up Jim's House of Horns on Google, it'll give you Jim's phone number, and you need to call Jim before you go see Jim's House of Horns, because he is always out shed horn hunting. Bones and stones, absolutely, Slim. That's and tones. I like bones and stones and tones. I like music too. So anyway, Jim's House of Horns. So he has one of the world's largest collections of deer shed antlers, deer horns, the world's largest. It's amazing. He opens the doors and you walk in, and all the way from the front to the back, and they're neatly arranged so that they make like 2 rows of 4 rows of shelves. And then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk in, and there's like 4 rows of shelves, and then you walk triangle and diamond patterns on the walls and things. Like, it's absolutely amazing, Jim's House of Horns. And the neat thing about Jim's House of Horns that you guys may not know is that Jim had 3 daughters, and he put all 3 daughters through college on shed horns, on selling shed horns. So there are all kinds of people out there who want to use those horns for the, the chandelier lamps and the lamp tables and knife handles and, all kinds of things out there that you can use deer horns for, all kinds of craft that you can use deer horns for. We saw something like that drive. He is in Three Forks over by the golf course. Does that sound right, Rufo? I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, just amazing. And you could, like I say, it's by appointment only. You got to get a hold of him, make sure he's going to be around for him to let you in there and see it. And it's amazing. We've been several times, and every time there's something new to see in there, and it's amazing. But yeah, 3 daughters through college on shed horns. So even if you're a rock hound and you're into rocks, you kind of can't scuff too loudly about those who bring home shed horns and deer horns. So, and why not? Why not bring it home and make something pretty out of it if you can? It is amazing. Jim's House of Horns is so amazing. He opens the doors and it's just like, oh. Museum of Antlers as we drove by. No idea, but it sounds familiar. Yeah, maybe. Like I say, it's in his property. It's on his property. So you got to drive down his driveway up to his house, and it's right there in his shed. But yeah, Google it. You can find it on Google. It's amazing. Amazing. So anyway, I was just kind of in a little bit of a conundrum. Do I share that with my fellow rockhounds, or, I don't get too deep in my video about what I, yeah, you have a full deer skeleton in your garage and you're going to, yeah, okay, so there's another thing, Rocky Mountain Bear. I think that is so cool, and I know how bad that smells. There is nothing about sawing, grinding, carving, cleaning bones that it smells pretty. It's not cool. But I know a guy who cleans horns, who cleans the skulls up, and I may ask him for a little help with these. I might just go take them and tie them to a fence post in an anthill and let the ants clean them. But I leave any sheds where they lie. Yeah, there's lots of other bone there they can munch on too. But yeah, I bring them home if they're worth bringing home anymore. I used to bring them all home. Yeah, now goat skull, you weren't supposed to touch any of that stuff until recently, 406. There was a law on that till just a little while ago. So again, know the rules. But now what Rocky Mountain Bear was saying, to carve those skulls. Rocky Mountain Bear, I've got a few more if you're interested. I think that is so beautiful. Some of that carving work on the deer skulls. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Nobody comes to North Montana or Central Montana or Eastern Montana on purpose. There's nothing really exciting out here to see. And it cracks me up. Like, we're kind of, where I live right here is kind of a little hub for travelers. I think I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me for just a second. Nope, it passed. Anyway, we get a lot of people who are trying to get to Glacier, coming through trying to get to Glacier, and people who are coming into Canada or coming from Canada into the States. So I come across people coming from all directions doing all kinds of things. And I can't tell you how many times people are coming from the Dakotas into Montana and headed to the Rocky Mountains. And they hit the Montana border and they can see the Rocky Mountains. They're very small on the horizon, but they can see them. And so they start to get excited and they're like, we can see them. We're almost there. We're almost there. And they just keep driving and keep driving and keep driving. And the mountains just very slowly get closer and closer. But it surprises people how far away you can see the Rocky Mountains before you're actually to them. and how much wide open space is really there before you get there. It really surprises people. Like burnt popcorn. Agree, Slim. I agree. Like burnt popcorn, real bad. Yeah, I was making a badger claw necklace one time from a roadkill badger, making my mama proud. And I was boiling them up, cleaning them up and boiling them, and I fell asleep and woke up and they were like really, really burning in the bottom of the pan. You want to talk about some horrific stench? That's a pretty good one there. So yeah, I'm all about using the nature to, if I can. And you know, it's all part of the circle of life. We're all gonna be there someday. Maybe somebody will make some trinket out of my tooth someday. You never know. Just never know. I would be okay with that. So it's kind of weird thinking about that, but I would be okay with that. So yeah, I still didn't find any dino bone, speaking of bones, and I think that this was my karma yesterday. The last time I was out at this place, if you guys ever watched me make my little offerings to the rock gods where I take a smaller rock and I put it up on top of a bigger rock. Let's see if we can get this to work. And I leave it like that. Okay, you get it. You get it. An offering to the rock gods. There it is. Okay. So I do this for two reasons. One, it's funny to say that, oh, I want some more rocks just like this. Rock gods, give me more little petrified woods. Only make them bigger. Would you make them bigger? Okay, right? Yeah, haha, that's the joke. But I've come across some of these offerings, these markers, years later and been like, hey, I've been here before. I know I've been here before. And like I say, every once in a while, I do take some company with me, my significant other, my brother, my mom. And I've had people who I've taken with me come across these and be like, hey, you were here before, or hey, I saw some of your rock offerings when I was out looking around today. So yesterday, I come across one of these from the last time that I was out there. I leave rocks on trees so that I know where I've been before. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I came across one of these yesterday and I was like, hey, I've been here. And I literally like stumbled down the hill like 3-4 steps and found something. I was like, if I wouldn't have left that there, I would have kept walking where I had been yesterday and had no idea. So yeah, so that's got a dual purpose. That I've come across these, like I say, long time later and been like, yeah, I've been here once before. That's cool. I sometimes will stick around and have a second look around, but you found other offerings. Yeah. Excuse me. Sometimes it's a whole pile of beer bottles or something you get to clean up for somebody, huh? Yeah. Oh, I don't mind some of the old like tractor implement things that are out and about, big, you know, wagon wheels and things that have been out in nature for a long time. Those things kind of don't bother me as much as like beer cans, beer bottles, pop cans, plastic bags, those kinds of things. I pick them up and bring them home with me and throw them in the garbage. I call them artifacts too, by the way. When I find a piece of human garbage, I'm like, ooh, look, an artifact. And it just, to me, it's a silly way to make it like not as miserable to pick up other people's trash. Like, oh, I found an artifact. I better take it out of here with me. So even if it's, like I say, if it's a pop can, I'm like, an artifact. I don't like to find that stuff that takes up room in my rockhounding bag. So but yeah, so there, some stories. Oh, I meant to leave. Yeah, or a gift to people. And I've said that too. I'm gonna leave this here for the next guy, but I don't know who that next guy is. Like I say, there's not a lot of people out rockhounding around here. At first, people really thought I was crazy. And every once in a while, someone pulls over and asks me, how you doing? You gonna have any luck today if I'm still really close to the road? And I'll come back and, yeah, I found a couple petrified woods today. Or, oh yeah, I found, just a couple interesting rocks today, or look, I found this agate today, or whatever. And people are oftentimes quite shocked that, oh my goodness, you actually are finding, fossils and things. So, like I say, at first, people kind of looked at me really weird, thought I was weird. My shed horn hunting buddies thought I'd lost my mind. They were like, "What do you mean you're going to be a rock hound? Like, you should just give up rock hounding and keep shed horn hunting with us." So, but I think shed horn hunting is a young people's hobby. You walk a lot of miles, a lot more miles in a lot faster pace than you do rock hounding, and you have a lot less chance of being successful, which makes your successes more exciting. But I can't anymore. I can't. I can do it once in a while. I just can't with the stamina that I used to. So I like to be a rock hound. I'm quite successful as a rock hound, and it makes me very happy. So, and I like to share it with all of you guys. That's cool too. Yeah, exactly. They're like, "What in the world are you doing out here?" And they think you're a little crazy, but you know what? I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And like I say, it catches on in a little community like this where people at first were giving me the side eye. And but like I say, after a while it catches on and people know that you're out there and you're picking up garbage for them. Or like I say, I've been invited onto some properties and I come back with tractor gas caps and things that the farmer or rancher has lost out there, and they're like, "Gee, that's a funny looking shed horn," or "Gee, that's a funny looking rock." And they'll give you a little it's not a rock at all, but they're so thrilled. Like, I found ball hitches and things and brought back to farmers and ranchers, and they're thrilled. They're like, "If you want to go out and find any more tractor caps, you go right ahead," because it saves them a trip to town and a few bucks. So that's a good way to get invited back. Close gates, pick up balum twine, things like that. If you're out being good on their property, they're going to spread the word too. And you're going to get the next guy down the road who's like, "Yeah, come on over, help yourself. You're welcome anytime." So, it takes a little while for things to catch on, to build that, community respect where, first you do look a little crazy out there with your ass in the air looking for rocks. But once it catches on, people kind of get over how weird it looks and start to kind of respect it a little bit and appreciate it. So, a, a serpentine jade chunk is what bit Slim, huh? It was an agate in a gravel road that bit me. Um, it was a like yellow orange colored piece of chalcedony, and I was walking down the gravel road in the evening light, and the light shone through it, and I picked it up, and it came home and posted it on Facebook and was like, "Does anybody know what this is?" And my uncle, who is a prospector, a sapphire guy, a rock guy, um, was like, "Boy, that looks like an agate to me. That sure does look like an agate to me." And I was like, "Are you?" And I believe him. Again, agates and things; those are his forte. And I was like, "What? You can find agates out on the prairie in the gravel roads?" So, yeah, I couldn't stop after that. I was like, I have to find more and more and more. And then like I say, I've always been a very avid outdoors person, whether it's shed hunting, rock hounding, camping, hiking, whatever. Uh, I was out rock hounding, doing a lot of rock hounding and really enjoying that when I kind of got bit by the meteorite bugs. So, like going on like 9-10 years of hoping to find a meteorite. So I should only have, maybe 20 years left of hoping and whatnot before I actually find one. Just kidding. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of sapphires here in Montana, big sky country, the treasure state, lots of sapphires, agates, petrified wood, fossils. We're really lucky here in Montana. We get a nice variety of everything. Yeah, lots of jaspers and quartz, everything you could dream of. What I want to do is, I've got a friend here, and she says that down by one of the bee towns, Billings, Butte, Bozeman, one of those, that there is a place where you can go get malachite. So I'd sure like to have some Montana malachite. I didn't know there was such a thing. Excuse me. So yeah, I'd like to go down and check that out for sure. She's got a piece at her house, and I was like, what, you found this in Montana? And she was like, yeah, it's all over. I gotta show you where. Yes, you do. Gotta show me exactly where you found that. So yeah, anyway, so sorry, I'm just kind of giving you guys a still look here at some of this. Montana malachite, Montana malachite, Montana malachite, Montana malachite, Montana malachite, okay, it gets hard after about 6, Slim. Yeah, I think it probably does have a little bit to do with like the copper, the Butte copper mines and things like that. Here, I don't necessarily want to show you guys my dirty house, but sorry about my finger. I gotta get you out of here. And you'll have to forgive this. The stairway going upstairs is kind of my boy's, his zone. We'll call it his zone. So he likes to stack everything on the stairs that needs to go upstairs and then ignore it there real hard. So never mind all the junk that's on the stairs, but let me show you guys just a small bit of my shed horn collection. Never mind the mess. Never mind the mess. There's some elk sheds down there on the floor, and then the deer sheds come all the way up the stairs, and there's a pile of them up there, a couple over here in the corner. We're gonna swing around. I found that pair of moose paddles. There's some horns on top of the piano over there. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. I have amassed quite a large shed horn collection. Like I say, I took it as seriously as I took my rockhounding there for many, many years until I just got too old to keep up anymore. And that's okay. I like the pace of rockhounding nowadays. It's a little slower paced, but I like that pace nowadays. Oh, I have a couple more pieces over here. Let me show you guys this I found yesterday too. One more anyway. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try. Let's see if it will focus. Awesome. You better put a show on later, Slim. I look forward to hanging out with you. You guys see that fossil pattern in there? I've got some cleaning up to do still on this rock, but that little fan coral or whatever that is in there caught my eye. The rest of the rock is pretty unimpressive. A chert, most likely. But that bit in there, that little fossil-y bit, see if I can get him to focus even closer. Hang on. Be patient. There it goes. Yeah. Anyway, there's a little fossil rock that I found. And this one, I'm not sure what it is. If it's just a big chunk of quartz, but it's just plumb full of druzy. Druzy never shows up on my lives. This whole piece here too just kind of sparkles and shines. There's a little pocket right there, all sparkly and shiny. That's why I set it aside, because druzy never shows up over here on this camera. There's this whole bit here is just chock full. I see it on my phone. Maybe just a smidge on the computer of some of the sparklies in there. Anyway, oh, it caught a little sparkle through there too. for just a second. Anyway, like I say, I don't know what this is. Just a big chunk of weird quartz. But I can't say no to druzy. And I had to come clean this up and have a look at it, a little closer look at it. See what I could see about it. So pretty right there. Anyway, that's what fit in my bag yesterday. That's what I got. Let's see, I left here at about 10 and I didn't get home until about 3 or 4. And that was out there all day. Like I say, I don't drive very far, just a couple miles down the road, wherever suits me today, tomorrow, whatever suits me. I think Mia had said something about, man, it must be nice to just roam free and look at rocks. And that's exactly what I do when I go out, is roam free. I've got plenty of places to go. I've been to this place a couple times prior, and it blew my mind how much petrified wood was out there this time. I've been there before and I've never found that much petrified wood out there. So it never hurts to go back to the same place a couple of times. The more you go out, the more familiar you get with what you're seeing. The less time you spend looking at junk, the more time you spend finding things. So, like my brother will kind of gripe sometimes, we've been there before, don't you think we've kind of picked that place out? No, I don't. And I think too that, like I've said this before too, you're out there walking around and you step on a rock and flip it over. Look at how uninteresting this rock was, or flipped over the wrong way. Come by with your tennis shoe and accidentally flip it over. You come back the next time and you see that. So I do think that it's plenty appropriate to go get familiar with your places. Go several times. Go back several times. Get familiar with what's there. Get familiar with what you're seeing, what you're not seeing, so you're not spending too much time. I found a couple things yesterday that looked like wood that weren't wood. Pretty quickly determined that, chucked them over my shoulder and carried on. So, but yeah, keep your eyes peeled, guys. Pardon me. It was dry out yesterday too. Not only did I get a mosquito bite in the corner of my eyeball, but it was really, really dry yesterday too. So, yeah, I had a great time. I love sharing this stuff with you guys. Stay tuned because I did get a lot of footage of me picking this up. A lot of meet the wildlife. There were critters that I've never seen before, which is unusual, even more unusual than finding an abundance of petrified wood, because I'm quite familiar with our critters up here. So I don't know if I just went out early enough to catch an earlier season of bugs that I just am not familiar with, or if like the El Nino La Nina thing is pushing up new bugs that we've never seen here before, or if I just I don't know. I don't usually spend a lot of time checking out deer bones lately. I don't know. I saw some bugs yesterday that blew my mind. And some cute fuzzy ones too. There was a very hungry caterpillar. There was a very hungry caterpillar on my adventure yesterday. So I had a great time. I can't wait to share the video with you guys so you can see it in a little better definition than on the live. Yeah, see the wide open prairie, enjoy the nature with me. And thanks for hanging out, everybody, this morning. I love doing my morning rock talk and coffee chat with everybody. You guys are the greatest rock fan in the world. I don't know how we all got so lucky. This is good luck, but you guys are the treasure here. This is great. Going out and finding petrified wood, and I love it. I love putting it up on the thing with the rest of the collection, and I love cutting and polishing and making pretty things, but without getting to share it with you guys, it's just a little less fun, because I definitely love this part of it too. I love hanging out with you guys, showing you what I found and visiting and hearing your stories. What bit you? It was a piece of serpentine or whatever for Slim. It was an agate for everybody else. I love finding those things out about you guys, and hearing your reactions, and we always are trading advice and ideas. Tell me what you know about Dinobone and I'll tell you what I know about. I love it. You know, what do you use for backing? What do you use for polishing? Those kinds of tidbits and things that we all get to share with each other is an equally cool find and score as the physical part of rock hounding is. So I know I kind of grind that in there a lot, and it maybe even sounds a little cheesy, but you guys are a great rock fam. I appreciate you all and love getting to spend time with you, whether it's here or on other channels. Oh, the druzy. I wish you guys could see the druzy in that. It's so pretty. It's just sitting over here sparkling at me. All right, so since I wish you could see that, I'm just gonna cut this video here, and I'm gonna go get to editing the other video. And be sure to go out and like a couple of other rock hounding videos today. Leave some comments, share the love, show the support. We need each other. We help each other. We love each other. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love you guys. And it was a piece of pigeon blood for me. That's cool. I love it. I love finding that stuff out. So yeah, definitely go show some other rock hounds some love. And I'll see you guys again soon. We'll do this again soon. Pretty rocks out on the prairie, pretty rocks are everywhere, pretty rocks for us to look at, pretty rocks are everywhere. Thanks for watching, everybody.